All right, we are broadcasting live. We are here. Thank you for joining Morgan & Morgan's Insurance Recovery Group, a fight for your business interruption payout, led by double board certified insurance claim trial lawyer, Mark Nation. I'm Phil Sanoff, trial lawyer with Morgan & Morgan's Insurance Recovery Group. I am so grateful to be here to introduce Mark to take your questions for this informative Q&A process. So that everyone knows, let me lay out some procedures. I will be monitoring the chat room. If you need to find your chat, there's a button at the bottom of your screen that says chat. If you want to ask a question and don't want to do it orally momentarily, just type out the question. I'll be monitoring that and answer as best I can. If it seems like it is uniform question, we may ask it orally to Mark as we go. If you are willing to raise your hand electronically and be called on to answer, there is a function in the attendees button you can push down here where it says participants and go to your name, click it to raise your hand, and we can unmute you to ask your question out loud. Mark may have a few opening remarks, but this is really intended to be as interactive as possible. We hope you brought your questions. Mark is so good at the interactive format to be able to answer your questions and concerns about fighting for your business interruption payout. And with that, I'm going to turn over to Mark. Mark, thanks very much. Take it away.
All right, Phil, thank you very much. And I'm glad that you're here with me. And Phil works with me along with 53 other lawyers handling claims on behalf of policyholders against their own insurance company. So day in and day out, we as a group, our group is called the Insurance Recovery Group, is helping policyholders in all kinds of claims against their insurance carriers. And that's all over the country. We're in 13 states. And so if you have a claim against your own insurance company, whether it's a homeowner's claim, life insurance, disability, business owner's claim, anytime your own insurance company says no, is low or slow, that's a good case for us to take a look at. And I've been doing that for 30 years and would love to help you. Today, we're talking mostly about business interruption claims. But if you had a question and you want to ask me anything at all that pops up and you think about it, it's a legal question at all, I can probably help you with it. I've done a radio show or did one for 10 years, and I would tell people, I'm just here to answer your legal questions, anything from admiralty to zoning. And so if you've got a question, ask me. I'll be focusing my discussion, most of this, on business interruption claims. But again, I don't care what your question is. If you have one, ask it. And I'd rather you just ask the question of me live. It makes a lot better show. It makes my time here a lot more pleasant. And if you don't want to do that, you can do the chat thing that Phil talked about. First of all, and I'm going to share the screen because I want to show something about business interruption I think that is helpful in looking at these claims, because the insurance industry has done a very good job of getting out in front of this and saying, messaging this, saying that the business interruption claims are not covered, don't need to file them, giving people it's really a chilling effect on filing claims. My recommendation is, if you have business interruption losses as a result of COVID-19, file the claim. File the claim. It is in your best interest to do so. A lot of the issues that are about to be brought to the forefront as a result of this catastrophe have not been litigated. There are no court decisions on it. The insurance companies are saying that it's not covered. And here's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, if you looked at this, there's a spectrum of cases. And let's think of it this way. On this side, you got not covered. All right. And if you go on that spectrum all the way over here, you've got absolutely. I was just talking to a guy, and I don't have any doubt his claim is covered. Absolutely covered. And then there's this area right in here where it's going to take some litigation to determine whether or not there's coverage or not. But my prediction after doing this for 30 years is most of these are going to be leaning towards this side covered. There will be some that are not covered. There'll be some, but there are going to be a lot that are covered. And so my guidance is file the claim. A lot of these issues are going to have to get sorted out, but that you do have an obligation under your policy to provide prompt notice. And what you do not want to do is you don't want to hand the insurance company a defense that they otherwise wouldn't have. And that's a defense of failure to give prompt notice. Just give notice of the claim. It's real easy. I've written a form letter here to do it. We do this on behalf of our clients, and it basically just says, hey, we've lost income as a result of COVID-19. I am hereby presenting a claim for all coverages available under my business policy or policies for the loss of income and extra expense. Actually, if you ended right there, you'd be fine. We do put some examples of what that insurance coverage may be, but you don't have to. It's just, I hereby present a claim for all coverages available under my business policy or policies for this loss of income and extra expense. The reason I'm recommending that is, I'll give you an example. I had a dentist who submitted a claim, and he says, I hereby submit a claim, or I'm submitting a claim under my civil authority coverage. And that's what he put in the letter. And they came back and said, well, you don't have civil authority coverage. They ignored the fact that he had business interruption coverage, which is really what he was filing his claim for. And so you just don't want to put yourself in that box. And so that's my guidance here today. There are going to be a lot of claims covered. There'll be some that are excluded. Don't prejudge it. Let us look at those claims for you. And let's get a claim filed so that you don't just hand the insurance company this defense of failure to give prompt notice. Now, Phil, do we have any raised hands, or do we have any questions? I'd rather just talk to folks.
Mark, we have a question from Jennifer. I'm going to unmute her.
Hey, Jennifer. It's Mark. How are you?
Hi, Mark. I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. What's going on?
If you do file a claim, can you be denied insurance, or is it an automatic increase in rates down the road?
Yeah, it's not going to be an automatic increase. However, your premiums are going to increase. I promise you. Next year, just like they did this year, they're going up. Whether you file a claim or not, the premiums go up each year.
Right.
And this is not something that you cause. This isn't like something where you've allowed the property to fall into a state of deterioration, and now you've got underwriting concerns that are going to result in a higher premium. They know that everybody has these losses. The issue is going to be, is it covered or not? Now, if you want to get into technically, is the filing of a claim, will it ever be a problem? Could be if you file multiple claims over time, it could be. But if there's ever a time to file a claim, it's now. These claims are going to shake out over the next year to 2 years, and you don't want to hand this prompt notice defense to the insurance companies. And if you ever had insurance for a reason, this is the reason. You had two questions though. That was the first one. What was the other one?
I didn't have a second question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. And what kind of business are you in?
We're in hospitality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and so and it also raises another issue in some of the businesses, and especially hospitality, we're able to get payroll protection program money, PPP money.
Correct.
The insurance companies are telling people, well, if you got that, then you don't have a claim because we get an offset for all that. That is not accurate. In Florida, And what state are you located in?
Florida.
Okay. In Florida, we have a law that says when you have these collateral sources like this, that's what they're called under the law, where the government now has provided a loan. If there is a right of reimbursement, if the people who pay the collateral source, here the government, if they have a right of reimbursement, then that right of reimbursement extinguishes any offset that the insurance company maybe wants to take, even if the government doesn't exercise that right of reimbursement. It's the right itself, the existence of the right, which eliminates the ability for them to have an offset. One. Two, even if they were entitled to an offset, it doesn't offset the entire business interruption claim. The PPP money is only for wages, payroll, and for leases or mortgages and utilities. It would at most offset those for the 2.5 months that the loan was for. And so I don't know if you have that situation going on, but I do know that's a real big issue that people ask me about all the time. So I appreciate it. Do you have any more questions?
I'm okay right now. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us today. And if you have friends or family who might benefit, we do this every Thursday. And otherwise, you can just email me if you wanted to. It's real easy. Mark in at forthepeople.com.
Thank you.
What else do we got, Ned?
So we have a question from Brandon. I am unmuting him now. Brandon, you should be live. Go for
Hey
it.
there, Mark.
Hey, Brandon, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for taking the time to do this.
I'm happy to do it. Hopefully it helps. What you got?
So I got 2 questions for you. We already filed a claim based on our agent's recommendation back in early March, mid-March. We got the deny letter back. What is our next step?
Okay, so you're raising actually 2 issues. I'm glad you asked this question. You filed the claim with your agent, and your agent then, I assume, got it to the insurance company, right, on your behalf. That's what it sounds like to me, right?
Correct.
Okay. So you're fortunate because a lot of agents are telling their insureds, their clients, hey, this isn't covered, don't waste your time, and then they don't even send it on.
Mhm.
And so you're fortunate that he sent it on. And so it raises this issue I want to address, then I want to answer your question. When you report the claim for folks, I would report the claim to the agent and to the insurance company. And you just look at the policy and it'll have the name of the insurance company. Just put your policy number on it. And then if you have a claim number, put that on there. And so you know that the claim is getting presented, because sometimes the agents don't forward them on. And then the insurance company will say, hey, we didn't give prompt notice. And then you might have a claim against your agent for not forwarding it on. You've got a good agent, he did the right thing, but they don't all do that. And that's for other folks, as you listen, just some guidance on how to submit the claim. Submit it to the agent and submit it to the insurance company. Do it in writing like the letter I showed you, as opposed to calling it in, because then they're going to ask you a million questions all designed to get this thing denied. Now, so the next step is, you said you do have a denial letter from your insurance company?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to look at that. The best thing is for me to look at that denial letter and your policy. And so what we have is a tool. And so you can go on forthepeople.com and it'll say our practice areas, and you go to business interruptions. It's the first one. And then you just click through. There's at the top, it's do I have a case? You just click through that. And then you'll qualify. You've got a business, you've got a business policy, and you've had loss of income. So you'll qualify. And then that puts it in line for us to evaluate. I've got a team that evaluates these as they come in. They'll reach out to you to get the policy and to get the denial letter. This evaluation doesn't cost you anything. What we do is on contingency fee. So if we look at this thing and there's no claim at all, we're going to tell you there's no claim. You don't owe us anything. If there is a claim, then we'll tell you, hey, we think there's a claim. Here's what we can do. You don't have to pay us. This is all based on contingency fee. what state are you located in?
Florida.
Okay. And in Florida, if we win, the insurance company has to pay all of our fees and costs. And if we lose, we work for free. The only time that's a little different is sometimes they offer a lump sum settlement. And in those cases, it becomes just a percentage of the recovery. Frankly, I don't see them offering a lump sum settlement right now for a long time because these issues are going to have to get litigated. Does that make sense about the best way for you to get that to us?
Yeah, easy. You'll have it this week.
Super. And look, if there's something there, we'll tell you. I've got a great intake team. A couple of them are on here. We are constantly going through policies together. We have team meetings frequently throughout the day on new policies and the issues that come up. And I appreciate you listening. How did you hear about us here today in the webinar?
I have no idea. I got an email and here I am. But I have a second question for you.
Yeah.
So beginning March 15th, we service the hospitality and the tourist industry. March 15th, Disney closes down. We had about 10, 15 purchase orders canceled and future projects that should have launched between April, May, and June. So do we make claims against those future sales that we lost? And should we keep documentation proving it?
So yes, you should document it as part of our, once we onboard you, we'll give you a list of the things that you need to start doing. But I'll tell you right now, you need to document it all. Every bit of it, because a year from now, let's say a year from now, we've triggered coverage, and it sounds like a long time, a year from now, and believe me, I feel like this is May 88th right now anyway. And so a year is going to become really quick. I know it sounds like a long time, but it's going to take a while to sort through some of these issues. That's just the facts. But we start today. We start on day one and we move forward. And so it'll be hard to recreate things if you're not diligent about doing it as we move forward. And so we will present all those claims. And because you're entitled to it's kind of three things. Generally, I'll say it because each policy is a little different. But generally, what you would be entitled to is your ordinary ongoing expenses plus profit that you would have earned, plus extra expenses that you incur as a result of the suspension of your operations. Generally, that's the framework within which we work. There are differences based on the policy, but that's generally what we're going to be looking for. And our goal would be, obviously, to help you maximize your claim. Make sense?
Yep, thank you.
All right, appreciate it very much. What else we got, Ned?
Right now, we don't have any raised hands. I want to remind everyone that you are welcome to push that raise hand function if you have a question for Mark. The floor is open.
Yeah, any questions you have. Again, it doesn't have to be business interruption. That's our focus here today, but I don't care if just us talking, it jogged your memory and you said, you know what, this guy seems nice and sounds like he knows what he's doing. I need to ask him about fill in the blank, a car accident, anything you want to ask. I'm happy to chat about it.
Mark, you might want to point out when you were speaking about the link to go to the website and find the tool to check their claim, we've put in the chat box, everybody may not have the chat roll open. By registering with their email address, we'll be sending a link to that page, actually, that they can click to easily submit their information to see if they have a claim. I just wanted to focus on that for you for a moment to make it easier. Folks knew it was easier to get their claim reviewed.
Absolutely, and I appreciate that. Let me also, as we're waiting, I think I can bring it up here on my screen and just show people how to do that. All right. Let me share my screen real quick. And what you would do is simply go to forthepeople.com. John's lovely picture here. Go to practice areas, which are right here. You'll see business interruption is at the top. And it is super simple right here. Free case evaluation right here at the top. Hit that. It's the first button. And what we have is a super simple walkthrough of a self-sign-up tool. Hit continue, and then you walk through several questions. Very easy. Then my team will reach out to you, and we can't help you until you sort of are onboarded this way. And then if my team will reach out to you, and then if we can help, once we've reviewed the policy and their denial, then we'll tell you. If we can't, we'll tell you that too, and give you what the options are. All right, any questions right now?
Mark, we do. We have a question from Levy. Forgive my pronunciation if that was incorrect, but you are live now.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. It's Levi Sandelin. We actually own a couple of businesses in Atlanta, and we actually have two different policies, both which have, and I hate to say this at this moment, I don't have it. I don't believe it is actually referred to as business interruption, but I think is rather referred to as loss of income on both of those policies. And we're underwritten by one of the larger insurers in the United States. But approximately a week to 10 days ago, I reached out to our agent regarding, and as of yesterday, received a reply directly from our agent, kind of outlining that this was the kind of coverage that was not covered, and that, but that we could file a claim. So it wasn't.
I was talking about earlier, the agent discouraging people from actually filing a claim. And then what happens is they either drop off and don't file. They go, oh, well, I guess. And yet you trust your agent. It's somebody you picked who you have faith in. But frankly, I'm the guy who stands in the courtroom and argues this stuff in front of judges, and we're parsing words and commas. And then the agents are that speak, and they speak broadly. Yeah, it's not covered. We'll see. But the problem is, then they end up, you wait, and you either don't file a claim or you file one late, and then the insurance company says, failure to give prompt notice. The agent is your agent, he's not our agent, and you're bound by his wrongful acts. And so I encourage people, file it with your agent, but the insurance company also. So now your agent is saying that what? That he will file it reluctantly, it sounds like, but he'll file it on your behalf?
I presume. I mean, he hasn't said he would file it, but he said we could file a claim, regardless of the fact that he didn't feel it would be covered. So based on what you just said, you feel we should file the claim with
Absolutely.
our insurer and with the insurance company itself.
Absolutely. And the insurance company, more importantly than the broker, but absolutely. We
Okay.
do not know on a lot of these cases. There's some, as I said, there's some that's just going to be covered. And they're just flat out, it's clear in the policy that it's covered with no exclusion. A lot of policies have no exclusion. Some have exclusions that are pretty porous, is what I call them, meaning they got a lot of holes in them. And some have exclusions that are robust and are going to be more of a challenge. But I can tell you there are no cases directly on point because this is such a novel thing that's happened. And for anybody to say, no, it's not covered, very short-sighted. And so I strongly encourage people to file the claim. We also don't know what legislation is going to come out later. We don't know what the courts are going to do. We don't know what the legislature is going to do. But if you're stuck with late notice, that's a problem.
Okay, so may I ask one more question?
Please, Todd, you can ask as many as you want.
Okay, so in filing this claim, you are recommending that we use the format of the language that you provided at the beginning of this webinar to advise them?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Good luck. Let me know if we can help. We've got an office in Atlanta. We've got an office in Macon. We've got an office in Savannah and Columbus. And so if they deny you, and they're going to, let us know. We can help. And if they send you a questionnaire, a lot of insurance companies now are sending out questionnaires for you to fill out. I would say that's the time you need to hire us, because we'll fill out the questionnaire for you. People are really making a mistake filling those out on their own. I'll give you an example. It's kind of off topic, but it will make the point. I had a client who filed his own application for Social Security disability. And one of the questions is, can you drive? And his answer that he wrote and sent to Social Security was, not since my last DUI. Not the right answer. And so the insurance company has questions that are worded in a way that are going to trigger exclusions. I was filling one of these out yesterday for one of my clients who's a friend of mine, and the questions were all geared toward the exclusion, trying to get the insured to say certain words where they can go, look, they said it's all these words, and those words are in our exclusion. Let me give an example. Are you filing a claim because of damage to your property as a result of COVID-19? So damage is one of the triggers for coverage for business income or business interruption coverage. Damage. But really the trigger is direct physical loss of or damage to property. That's the trigger for coverage for business interruption. Every word matters. That's a direct quote from its most policies. Direct physical loss of, that word of is super important. And then there's an or damage to property. When the insurance companies deny these claims, they simply say, well, you have no damage to the property as a result of COVID-19, and therefore there is no coverage. They ignore what they wrote in their policy, which is direct physical loss of or damage. Let me give you an example of what direct physical loss is. If you've got a car that's stolen, it's not damaged, but you have direct physical loss of your vehicle. It's not damage. Those two things are very different. You might have damage if they wreck it, and then you have two triggers for coverage. When you have your business and insure your business, and all these business interruption claims are arising out of your property policy. So the insurance company issues your property policy, and in that property policy, they insert the business interruption claim or coverage, because they know if you can't use your property anymore for its intended purpose, you're going to have a loss of income. And in these cases, you've lost the use. It's direct physical loss of your building for its intended purpose. That triggers the coverage. Now they're going to ask these questions and say, hey, have you sustained damage? You'll put no, no, no. And they'll go, aha, no coverage. And so long answer, but it's my explanation for if you get a questionnaire, why I want to be the one filling that out for you. You got any other questions?
No, thank you though. I appreciate the clarification.
All right. Good luck. Appreciate it. And stay safe.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Yes, we have a question from Shafraz. Sorry about the pronunciation there. I am unmuting you and you should be live.
Hey, it's Mark. How are you? How do you pronounce your name? Hello.
Hang on. I'm sorry. You call me Ronnie.
I'm
Hello?
sorry. Yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead. You're on with me.
You can call me Ronnie. That's fine.
Ronnie, nice to meet you.
Likewise. I do wholesale, like custom t-shirts, in a factory in Kissimmee. My question is, my policy have a loss of income, but I believe there's a limit of 50,000 per incident.
Maybe.
So,
Is it a Hartford policy?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think that that $50,000 sublimit applies. And that gets into one of my issues. My reading of that particular policy is that that $50,000 limit applies if your business is closed because it suffered damage. Because what
Okay.
it says in Hartford, it has a limited fungi, mold, bacteria, virus endorsement is what it's called. And it says that we'll pay only $50,000, but then it starts talking about damage and cleanup and testing of the property. And that is certainly one way COVID-19 can damage or harm a business. But the coverage is triggered not only by damage, you can have coverage triggered by the direct physical loss of the use of your property. And that limit, that $50,000 limit, doesn't apply to that type of loss. Does that
Okay,
make
my
sense?
other, perfect. My other question, I have, my agent said they will file a claim when I'm ready. Would it be advisable to have you guys file a claim, or should I do it with the agent first?
No, see, you can do it with the agent, but you always have to notify the insurance company because I have no idea if your agent's going to pass it on. A lot of agents go, it's not covered, and why waste
Right, but
time?
what I'm
I would
saying-
say,
What I'm saying is, earlier I heard when you were saying in Florida that the insurance pretty much pays you guys. So
if we
would it
win,
be better? Right. So would it be better? I mean, right now I'm thinking it's better I send you the policy and you guys file the claim.
absolutely. That's what I was going to say. We should do that on your behalf, no question about it. And we're happy
Right,
to
so
do
that
that. It doesn't
way-
cost you anything.
Right. So that way we don't have to worry about me telling the insurance something that they
Correct.
want to deny the claim.
Correct. So
Okay.
go to forthepeople.com. Did you see my demonstration on that? How to
Yeah.
drop that, find that?
Yeah, I saw it. So
Okay, perfect.
I'll do that, and whenever you guys get that, I'll send you the whole policy. I have the complete thing.
All right, my team will reach out once you go through that self-sign-up process. Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it.
And how
Thank
did you hear about our webinar today?
I had signed up for the previous one. I saw it on Facebook.
Oh, good. All right, well, it's nice to meet you, and I appreciate it very much.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
What you got, Ned?
Hey, Mark, next up we have Roxanne. Roxanne, I am unmuting you here.
Hey, Roxanne, it's Mark. How are you?
Hi, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's happening?
I'm actually a fellow attorney in Philadelphia.
I used to practice in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dilworth Paxson, and then I worked for Richard Sprague after that.
Very cool. So I'm just curious what kind of cases you're handling as far as the business interruption, and also if there are any types of exclusions you don't handle, because I know some attorneys are doing some stuff and some attorneys are doing other stuff.
Yeah. So I've got my clients included, as you can well imagine, all types of businesses. And we have an office, and you probably know this, right on Market Street in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And in that office, we handle these business interruption claims. We also handle life insurance, accidental death, disability, and cast iron pipes, homeowners claims, anytime, any insurance claim. So if you have anybody that we could help, we would love to do that. We pay referral fees to our referral partner lawyers. And so we'd love to do that and work with you on that. To your specific question, the coverage, so there are two issues in every one of these policies. Is there coverage? And if there is coverage triggered, is there an exclusion that applies? And so it seems as we look through the policies, the coverage, the trigger for coverage is there. It's the direct physical loss. You can no longer use the building for its intended purpose, and that by definition is direct physical loss of. And then we look at exclusions. Some policies have no exclusion at all. Others have exclusions. I'll give you an example. One carrier has a microorganism exclusion, and it includes a list of stuff. Virus isn't on that list. And they certainly could have included it had they intended to. And you're well aware, but I'll tell our audience listeners, that these exclusions have to be interpreted narrowly. The law says they'll be interpreted narrowly for the benefit of the insured. And so some of them are like that, and they're just not going to apply. Other ones are pretty strong, but what I see consistently with the exclusions is they're focused on the type of loss that results when you have property damage, the damage to type. Because if you look at them close and read them closely, they start talking about this exclusion applies to damage to property under all forms of coverage. And that's interesting to me because I said before, every word matters. The trigger for coverage, there are two of them: direct physical loss of or damage to property. Those are the two triggers. But then you look closely at the exclusions, and a lot of them are only triggered when you have the damage to. And they have that damage to language throughout the exclusion, and they never mention whether or not it applies to the direct physical loss of. Long answer to say, I'll look at any of them. In my team, we go through them thoroughly. Even the harder or tougher ones we're taking because we still don't have much guidance from the court on those. And we want to make sure those are getting pushed forward as we see what the courts are doing with those. So I'll look at all of them. Does that answer your question?
That does answer my question. Thank you.
All right, thank you. What else do we got?
I think this is last call for questions here, everybody. Last chance to raise your hand. Otherwise, we'll call it a webinar for the day.
All right, folks, I really appreciate you tuning in. In the meantime, if you have questions, comments, concerns, anything, don't hesitate to email me. Again, it's markin@forthepeople.com. And you can sign up or go through our evaluation tool at forthepeople.com. Just go to the areas of practice, business interruption, and you'll see right at the top, we have that tool. And we'll look at your case for free and tell you if you've got a case or not. And so it's there, and we want to help you. Let us do it. All right, thank you. Phil, do you have anything follow up or anything to add?
No, I'm good. I just wanted to thank you, thank our attendees. Don't forget, folks, every Thursday we'll be back here as long as we've got participation. We're here to answer your business interruption questions. And as Mark says, he'll take whatever question you got. Whatever you got, we'll get you an answer.
Absolutely. And you'll get an email afterwards. Forward that email to your friends and family. And if they have a claim or need some help, let them. I'll be here next Thursday and we can chat again, folks. All right. Thank you, everyone.